Hello, welcome once again, City Heroes Video Tours. For this one, I am currently sitting here on the old beta test server once again for the purposes of expediting this one. I have had some questions brought to me of late by some folks about the Eden trial. Specifically, things to watch out for in it, and also the quote-unquote correct tunnel path to take. There's apparently a couple different tunnel paths you can take, but I'll show you the one that I use. And it'll get you down there in three tunnels. And for the purposes of expediting this, I will not be doing this on a master setting. There's no need for that. And also, the beta powers here will be enforced because soloing the Eden trial, I've done that before on live, and it comes down to something I have said once before, or I think a few times before in other videos, I should say. Reward versus effort. Soloing the Eden trial, not entirely worth the effort. But for the purposes of this, with the beta kill powers, we'll tear right through it. Used to be on live, it would level cap you at 35, but now it's L50 at the cap, and as a result, your incarnate powers are fully operational. And you got a Street Sweep 200 Devouring Earth. Let me test something here real quick. Yep. Good old beta test server insta completion abilities. So presumably you've already swept through the 200. You talk to Eden. Clock starts. They give you 4 hours. Now for veteran players like many of y'all are, it won't take anywhere near that amount of time to speed through and defeat the Eden trial on regular setting. On master mode setting, might take a little bit longer. Alright, so here we are. We're going to take a little trip. Switch back to just regular fly, turning off hover. Okay. So we got the tunnels here. You want this one here in the center. The thing to look for is this bridge or platform, whatever you want to call it. That means you should be dropping down the right tunnel. And speaking of dropping down, cut off your flight power or jetpack, and then reactivate as retro rockets basically to stop your fall. You don't want to fall down and hit the ground. You will lose like about 95% of your health, then be wide open for a kill shot from the Devouring Earth. And we don't want that, especially on a master mode. So again though, we see up here the little chasm platform bridge, whatever we'd like to call it. Bombs away! As soon as it pauses like that, that's when you want to turn your flight power back on and break your fall. Okay, so we got one here with the chasm, or bridge, or platform rather. And the one without. So once again, we want the one that has it. Ow. They scratched me. How about that? Okay. I don't have my stealth power turned on, but that's alright. Alright. And there's your rock wall. That's the quick way down here. Real simple. There's supposedly a route that only takes 2 tunnel drops. However, I've tried in the past, and it's not always 2. So, yeah. Now, let's see here. A couple things about this trial. When you start attacking the rock wall, Devouring Earth ambushes will start coming at you. Also, that giant quarry over there, and then there's another one around here. There he is. They will also start approaching the party of the rock wall, and they'll try to follow you all the way through. If you got a tank that can take it, which you could do is taunt them, one at a time preferably, and then drag them here, and they will follow you, and they will take a fall. This is best done with a tank, for obvious reasons, because they got taunt, and they can also take getting hit with a boulder a little bit better. But I've got the beta powers turned on to toughen my character up a bit, so got his attention. and you'd rather be doing this with a tank. The taunt would be a little bit more effective at getting their attention than a snipe. And a tank can handle getting hit in the face with a boulder a little bit faster. But thanks to beta powers toughening me up, okay. So, come on. Yes. Make sure I have his attention. There he goes. You know, to this day, I've never fallen down that tunnel to see where it leads. This is also the first time I've seen them both. Usually they disappear from sight. Interesting. Okay. Nice to know. Alright. So they're out of the way, so now your party really won't have to worry about them. You just gotta worry about about the rest of the army of Devouring Earth itself. Now let's blast through this rock wall so I can show you some stuff on the other side that you might want to take note about. Alright. Love those beta powers. Alright. We got now normally on these bridges is where you would farm for ambrosia by wiping out Devouring Earth bosses until they drop in your inspiration tray. You do want to have 1 or 2 ambrosias for the final fight with the Titan. 3 is the ideal, 2 is usually enough. So you would go through these bridges and you keep blasting Devouring Earth, especially the bosses, until you get some ambrosia. Let's see if we get lucky here real quick. Sell for rather high value on the market these days. Ever since they put Master Mode on this and a no defeat Master Badge in the trial, ambrosia prices have spiked. But that's how you get ambrosia. You just keep wiping out the Dev Earth. While you get slots over your inspiration, and you should be able to get some ambrosia. Now, a couple little warnings here. This stuff here is not exactly water. As you can see, it's damaging me. Stay in it too long, you will fry and get killed. And on Master Mode, that's not a good thing. Also, you really don't want to fly up at the ceiling level. See these swarms up here? These are different. In fact, one of them just got me. How about that? Great way to show you. Those are different than the regular Devouring Earth swarms. Yeah. These swarms are actually very bad to get stung, because as you can see, they've cut off my flight power. And when you're debuffed by one of those swarms, you cannot be teleported or teleport to yourself. So you gotta watch that. So for a little bit here, I'm gonna be no danger might be destroyed. That's better. Now I can wait. Minus recharge, minus fly, minus teleport. I got looks to be about 3 stings worth on me. And ooh, another devouring swarm. Okay, let's get rid of it. It's the devouring swarms that do that. There's the regular swarms, the devouring summon, the devouring swarms are the one to watch out for. So it looks like I got about at least 3 stings on me. Minus recharge, minus fly, minus teleport. Let me bring up the info tab here. Yeah. Not only does it... If I had the power to teleport myself around, which, amen, I do not one of my favorite travel powers, but that's a personal preference, I would not be able to teleport myself around right now. Worse yet, if someone on your team has teleport teammate, the teleport ally power from the teleport pool, they would not be able to teleport you. It won't work. You are quite literally grounded and stuck and have to use... Basically, you run along the ground, like maybe if you have super speed, okay, that wouldn't be so bad. But you cannot be teleported by a teammate, by any teleport power whatsoever. From what I hear, even incandescence, the incarnate power, is not supposed to work. So let's take a look here what we got here. And it's roughly a 5-minute duration per sting. So yeah, kinda stuck. So you gotta watch out for those devouring earth swarms. The devouring swarms, I should say. So if this were a master run right now, whoever gets stung like this and gets stuck like this is gonna be a little bit of an impediment to the team. And they should seek immediate shelter and preferably turn invisible and hope the devouring earth don't aggro lock onto them while they wait. There is no way to purge yourself of it that I've seen. I don't know any way to purge these debuffs. You just have to wait out the clock on them. And like I said, they're about 5 minutes each, so this could be a little bit of time. See, I can't even hover like this. There we are, yep. They're up there at ceiling level for the most part, so if you fly too high, you will attract the attention of the swarm. And they will do to you what they just did to me. And you could fall into the corrosive water down there, or acid, or stomach fluid, whatever it is. Probably best we don't know what it's called. And you could get fried. And if that doesn't fry you, then the devouring earth down here might stomp you to the ground. So that's not a good thing. But luckily, devouring earth don't seem to have the ability to see through stealth. So let's proceed forward. Your best bet is to fly mid-level. And that way you're not attracting the swarms, you're not worrying about the acid water down there. Or if you got super speed, well then you're basically a ground pounder, so hopefully you got some stealth to go with that super speed. Okay, looks like one of the stings is wearing off. Go me, yep. Now two of them. Now they're all blinking. Alright, I'll be back in the air in a few moments. And for the record, yes, I deliberately let myself get stung so that you could see exactly what would happen. Alright. And the altitude I'm flying at now, it's good to be back in the air. Airborne is reborn. This is the altitude you want to fly. If you're going to fly through this, great. This is the altitude you want to be flying at. Or teleporting. If you're going to teleport through this, this is the general altitude you want to maintain. If you go to the ceiling, you risk those swarms that I showed you. So here we go through here. Maintaining this altitude. Again, if you're stealthy also, it's a beautiful thing. Just travel right on through, nice and easy, calm and comfy, cozy. Here we are at the next wall, the mold wall. Okay. Of course, devouring earth ambush you when you attack the wall, but no big deal. Oh, look at all these devouring earth that we're going to ignore. There's your objective, Crystal Titan. Yay. We're going to ignore him for a moment. These 4 prisons contain the heroes you gotta rescue. Now here's the thing. When you fight him, the Crystal Titan, these mobs will begin to aggro, and I believe he summons even more ambushes. So you're talking about a lot of Devouring Earth coming at you. Some Devouring Earth will manifest when you rescue the 4 prisoners here, yes. But they just spring up from the ground. They don't necessarily aggro all these Devers, so we don't have to worry about them. So there's 2 schools of thought. Some people like to smash the Crystal Titan first, despite all the ambush waves that, yes, will be attacking your group, and then free the 4 captives. However, again, when you start fighting Crystal Titan, all these mobs are going to be getting aggroed and summoned up, and you might even conjure up even more. Your best bet, in my own opinion, based on my own experience, is to go ahead and free the 4, deal with the ambushes that'll pop up out of the ground, and then go smash the Titan. See what I mean? They just pop up right out of the ground. By the way, when they pop up out of the ground, make sure you have some oranges and some purple. Alright, so they're out of the way. So I got all these mobs here to deal with. Not exactly capable of destroying them. So the ambushes of the base have been wiped out. Hallelujah. Instant recharge on Beta. Now we gotta go ahead and wipe out this Crystal Titan. You almost got it. The Ambrosia would shield you from his laser attack. Alright. I took him down pretty fast, but as you can see, here comes his ambush guards, and there'll be more coming as the fight continues. Alright, well, there you go. That's Eden Trial. So now you got the gist of what to do. You also know what good tunnel route to take. Look at that. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, so that's that for the Eden Trial tutorial. Again, I used the beta powers to speed it up because soloing it on live servers is not a recommended course of action. But you get the idea. Alright, well that's going to cut and print and a wrap. I'll see you on the next one, and don't forget, once in a while turn your computer off, go outside and play. See you on the next one.